Aloha everyone. I have 4 new positions to take for Tuesday's session. We'll start it off with my hedge. I know it seems crazy to keep going into these VIX hedges, but they're the only inverse ETFs that continue to trigger signals because the market looks very strong. And as heavily long as I am, I've repeated it ad nauseum. Anytime these things trigger a signal, I'm going to take it. Futures are currently up after hours as I make this video, so hopefully I'll get a better fill. But on TVIX, it's pretty clear cut. It doesn't get any more clear than this. Going long with a limit order at 35.47, it opens anywhere below 35.47. I'm long, and my final cut loss is 34.30. So if it moves below 34.30, that is yesterday's low a day, I will be out of half on my end, but if you take it per the way I recommend it on an end of day basis, you'll be all out with barely a 1% loss. So you can't beat that whenever it comes to these VIX hedges. When they work great. You're going to get a 25, 50, 75, 100% move, and when they're wrong, we're going to continue to cut our losses very small. And then that's great news for us because that means all the long positions are working. And this for Tuesday, I have 3 new long positions. IMOS is the highest quality one as it's a more liquid name, higher price name. I'm going to be going long using a limit order of 17.12. My first cut loss is going to be right here at 16.80. And then if it fills the gap, it will touch this high a day right here. And that's 16.20. That'll be my final stop. So what happened here is IMOS flagged as a potential long back here a couple times. Flagged as a potential long here a couple times. It was not a new long before this day because earnings. But once earnings were released, excellent move. But right here, I just didn't like the BOP not being green when I had so many other charts green, so I didn't take it. But they revised their quarter 1 earnings higher, and that jumped the stock on huge volume with BOP going to max green. And today it basically followed through, opening lower than yesterday's close, but holding the low a day of the session before, closing near the highs on the nice volume surge with max green BOP. Doesn't get much better than that, so I got to get long. It was in my new issues IPO scan because the Bermuda company and the Taiwan company merged, and so it created a new IMOS ticker. So that's why it looks like it's a new issue, but it's kind of a spin-off merger. Weird, whatever. It's there. It's kind of a new company with the combined company, so it's considered a new issue, and it was converted to my price volume BOP scan. So 2% of my account capital. TVIX, getting back to that one, that's only 1% of my account capital. It was only in my ETF scan, not confirmed anywhere else. And then the other new long position, I actually like this very early on in the market session, and it held up throughout the session to be a pretty decent long signal. You can see from its move in June to where it's at now in March, it's moved up over 100%. That's always a great sign for me. A lot of people would be scared off by that. I love to see a move like that, especially when it comes on such strong accumulation and low volume whenever the stock does pull back. You can see on a weekly chart it's a little bit more clear. All the big tall green bars and all the low volume during the pullback periods. So excellent pattern overall. Pocket pivot point signal right above its 50-day moving average. It's had green BOP this entire consolidation period, and it's had max green BOP while it consolidated on lower volume, and even today with the heavier move with the pocket pivot point signal. But AVNW, it was in my price volume BOP scan. Nope, it was not in that scan. I apologize. I don't have my notes in front of me, so I have to try to guess which scan these were in. It was in my green BOP for 20 days scan and in my max green BOP for 5 days scan, and that's how it was. And then it was confirmed in my tertiary scan. So AVNW, I'm going long with the limit order at 1569. My stops will be at 1474 and 1417. So if it moves below 1417, I will be all out of AVNW. And then the momentum swing trade for Tuesday, PHMD. I really like this chart pattern. I just wish there would have been a volume surge today, so that way it would have been confirmed in either my price volume BOP surge scan or my tertiary scan. But as it is, it has green BOP for the past 20 days, max green BOP for the past 5 days, and it's bouncing right off this 200-day moving average support area. We can kind of like, oh, let's do this. Let's draw a line right through here. Old resistance is now support right around there. As you can see, as it touches back here, kind of goes through there over the breakout, finds support here. So it's kind of bouncing off that strong support area, closing at the high of the day. I love this overall pattern. You can see it's even got a lot of accumulation in green bop going all the way back to last year in June. So very, very, very nice pattern overall. Going to go along with the limit order at 186. My first stop is 175, and then my final stop is actually all the way down here at 168. I want to give this one some wiggle room. My initial profit targets is going to be, I guess, what is this one right here? 315, but I guess 245 could be one at first. I think I'll be using 315. Then we have 358 over here, 322, 358, and then ultimately 560 if it can get up to there. But we'll see, because if this stock starts to break out, I assume it's going to definitely test 244. So I think my first initial profit target will be 315, ultimately wanting it to get up to 560. But if it keeps max green bop and builds a series of higher highs and higher lows, I'll turn this into a trend following momentum trade. All right, that's all for Tuesday. Futures are looking good so far. We'll see how we open.